Good morning, friends. I am coming to you this morning from Drake, Mass, and I would love to share with you a project that I've been working on with my daughter for quite some time. She has been making cards. She made cards all summer, hours and hours and hours of cards for our troops to be written out, the inside to be written out with messages for our soldiers overseas. And it was part of her choice for her Silver Star project. Good morning, Dauberdew. So she is a Girl Scout. Oh, Donna, this is right up your alley. My daughter is a Girl Scout, and she did her Silver Star project, and she completed it over the weekend. We're just doing the paperwork so that she can get credit for all the work that she's done. But all summer long, she made cards, and she donated boxes and boxes to her friend Corinne's charity. Her friend Corinne actually puts together care packages for soldiers that go overseas. And the last thing, and I didn't like make the camera backwards, but we'll talk about it. But the last thing was a handwritten note from someone. So we did it a couple of different ways. So first we made a bunch of cards, and that went out in the first batch. And then we decided that we were going to get together and pass the tradition along to younger Girl Scouts. So Alexis made a guide, and I'll show you more for the girls. But look, isn't it cute? So Alexis and I worked on it really, really hard, and we made a guide. And we shared it this weekend with the Brownie Troop in Pelham. We were supposed to have about 12 little girls, and only about 2 could make it because, it's the start of the school season. And, even Alexis, she just joined the soccer team, and she's really stepping outside her box, and I'm so proud of her. In every facet, she's like going to soccer and then going to dance, and then I'm just a taxi service. But it's okay. We're all there, So this event went off absolutely amazing. We had 2 little brownies, and then Alexis's troop, which is all seniors, which is the term for them right now. And all of the girls are completing their Silver Stars, and some of the older girls are moving on to their Gold Star projects. But it involves a lot of community service and a lot of love. So I have to just take a minute. I don't usually read while I'm live, but inspiration for this project, Alexis put on her booklet. I decided to do this project because of my grandfather. He's a veteran in the Army. When you send a signed card overseas, it cheers the soldier up. It can boost their morale. It also can make them want to keep fighting. They know that people back home care about them. It makes them feel good about themselves and the cause that they are supporting. Oh my God. Yeah. So I didn't cry, so that was good. No, I almost did. It's coming. Oof. All right. Boosa. Anyway, so we took the Elfie stamp set, and Alexis chose this set because of the appeal to the younger kids. She said that she thought that the kindergartners and first graders, now first grade and second grade, would really appreciate these little images. Woo! I just had a bug fly by my head. I think it might have been a bee. It's a fly. Whew, he scared me. He's going fast. Oh no, it's a bee. Okay, there's a bee. Hey, honey. Oh boy. Brian! Boy, you can hear that. Okay, so I'm going to let him fly around. He's kind of angry and scary. Oh my God. Only when you're live. Every day there's been a bee out here. I don't know what it is. But what I did was we sat down and we took the Elfie stamp set and we created a whole card class for these kids that they could take and make 1-layer cards. Now, it may have been good to show them the blends because then they could have blended their cards. But as you know, if you go through the blends onto the cardstock, it sometimes bleeds through. So you definitely need another layer of cardstock. So we took the classic markers and we did our own blending techniques with the kids. Can you see how, I don't know if it's in focus. It might be focused on me there. Can you see the multiple colors both on the bow, because that's the easiest to see because it's the light color, and then on the elf's belly, and then you see how there's multiple colors on his hat? Well, we were able to create that on a plain note card with classic markers that didn't go through to the back, and we were able to do it with our old markers, the ones that, like, because everybody's buying blends and that's the hot topic right now, but you can get a similar effect with your old classic markers. Who knew? So we did that and we created multiple cute designs. So, you know, I think I'm just going to flip the camera and we can start to talk there. And of course, I don't have my laptop and I've got to go rouse the bear and tell him that there's a bee out. And he's angry. Oh, okay, flying right by my head. I thought it was a fly. He was going so fast. It's that time of year, though. You know, we're in New England. The bumbles are out. This is the best project ever. I don't think I've ever made a one-layer card. Hang on one second. Let's flip the camera. Like, I don't do simple stamping well. I really like layers. Oops. Boy, I'm glad I didn't do that while here we go. I am clip deficient today. I changed the setting on my clip and it was funky. I love that kid too. She's really a great kid. So this is her booklet. I don't know if I'm allowed, because of the Girl Scout laws and all of that, to show the pictures from the event, but oh my God, the kids with the 60 cards that they made are so amazing. And look at these, the booklet that she made. And I was going to add, because I have a bundle to benefit the Girl Scouts at the end with a host code, but I was going to add it to the booklet, and then I didn't know if it would mess up her her requirements or whatever, so I didn't add it. I left a spot here, and I was going to put all of this in there, but I decided to keep it separate. By the way, our troop leader, Diane Chubb, and the assistant troop leader, Michelle Kelly, they are amazing, and they're helping my girl do exactly what she wants and turn into quite a young leader, and I'm so proud. Okay, so here we go. Let me show you my one-layer cards. We're gonna start. I'm just gonna go through real quick. This is just a really plain one with a little surprise on the inside, and we did, for each of these, stamp an envelope too, which the kids loved to decorate. And then we have this one, which was Alexis's favorite, with who doesn't love raining presents. And then there was this guy, which was the troop favorite. I was surprised how many people wanted us to stamp these over and over again. We were only there for an hour and 45 minutes, and these girls completed 60 projects. So we did address labels on the backs of the cards to let them know that they were created by Girl Scouts of Pelham. And so when the soldier gets it, they'll see the coloring, and if they flip the card over, they'll see that it was handmade for them by like a kindergartner, first grader. So cool. Here's my little elf guy. I love that. So although the troop favorite was the stocking, the little baby one, this one is my favorite, and it's because I figured out how to use classic markers to do the blends. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then this is the last one. This is, you know, what could have gone on the inside of each card. But these little girls, we had like little guidelines for them that they could follow if they didn't know what to say. They opened them up and they wrote them out while we were there. But the other half, so we did about, 10 or 15 of those written out from the little girls. The other half of the cards are going to Pelham Old Home Day, and people who are there can write them out to our troops while they're there. So there was multi-levels of this project. So cool. All right. So what did we use? We started with very vanilla note cards and envelopes. And that's the item number 144236. And then we added in some markers. Now, I tried to stick to one color family, and of course that's where I have a problem. But our markers come like this. This is the in colors. They're like 5, or you can get them in color groups of 10, or you can get my favorite thing, which I call the chocolate box. That's because every marker has a place, and you know when you put it back what color you're working with. And moreover, it matches all of the Stampin' Up! Cardstock. So it's easy to blend, it's easy to match, and you know what you've got. And a lot of my people who have been playing with the blends lately said, Celine, I haven't been using my classic markers. What do you use them for? Well, these are fabulous for coloring, and you don't need additional tools. Someone said, Celine, how did you blend that without a blends marker? Did you use a blender pen? I said, no, we just used the markers. So that's what we're going to show you. So to make it easier for the kids, we used the stamparatus. So I'm going to pull this out of the bag. This is the carry case. Isn't it pretty? I have 2 stamparatus. So Alexis would say, Mom, that means you have stamparati. See, these are our notes on what they should say. All right, so I'm going to pull that out. And as you guys already know, if you watch the Stamparatus series, we have this foam mat, and the foam mat is only if you're working with photopolymer, and we're not today. The stamp set Elfie is a cling, so it's red rubber. So while we were there, I had those 6 designs to start from, but we definitely, I'm going to try and move the camera again just because we're rolling, we're on a, we're going sideways today. All right. Remember I told you I put washi tape on one of my magnets? Well, I found it finally. And this is my washi tape magnet. All I did was I made like a handle to make it easier to pick up and put down. We let the older kids do the magnets. We asked the kindergartners and first graders not to touch them because they are so super magnety. Ha, there's my word of the day, magnety. That we didn't want the kids to pinch their fingers. And then we lined these up. So this guy, we actually used 2 windows. Your stamparatus comes with 1. I mean, it comes with 2. You get 4 sides if you want to do the flip. But I didn't want to get messy with the ink, so we stuck with 2 separate windows for this. And I was noticing on our note cards, it looks like one side can come out a little longer than the other when you fold it in half. It just must have been scored like maybe a 1/16 of an inch off. So the longer side is the side I want to stamp on and make my front, because that way I'm not dealing with, you know, a weird seam here. But all we did was, so I'm looking at this and I can visually see that this side's a little longer. So I'm going to do that. And then I really liked my present guy, so I'm going to show you how to line him up first. You just line him up on the board and pick him up. And we can even go in and stamp him. So one thing that was really good about using the stamparatus with the little ones is if they missed the image, we didn't wreck a card. So we had like a bunch of kindergartners and I wanted them to feel successful. And there was only one card that we had to redo because it was somebody dropped an ink pad on it or whatever. But all of the cards made it, which is pretty killer when you're considering stamping like real little kids. Originally, we were going to make the project like how to cut paper for card making. But we thought about it, and we thought that that might be too much for kindergartners. So I like to start the paper cutting thing, you know, around age 8 if they're, you know, if they're interested. You know, kids who are naturally artsy or curious and they want to learn the math part. So I'm going to place this where I want it to go. If I put it on the same window sill, it's not going to... it's going to interfere with my image when I stamp it. So first thing I'm going to do is drop this down and pick it up. And then I'm going to look at the grid lines on my stamparatus. See how I put it on just a tiny bit crooked? So I'm gonna adjust it here because I know that this is square against my, I'm gonna call it the fence. It's like paper cutter, right? Square against the fence. So now when I go to stamp this, it should be, knock on wood, I gotta find something wood, straight. And again, with the delicate font, I mean, yes, you got to push down when you stamp, but just go gentle with a delicate font. If you push down too hard, you'll get down below the surface of the stamp and then your words will get muddy. So the cool part about this is once you have everything in place, it doesn't matter what order you stamp in. Oh, that's the long side. It's just going to come out in the right spot, right? So we know that part, and it's good for multiples. So if you're doing a swap, you can whip through a swap in no time. And I gotta say, yay for me. I don't think I've ever done a one-layer card in my life, and here we go. I used this whole Elfie set like over and over to create a whole bunch of one-layer cards. I actually want to show you one more. And look, see how this one's like a little light around the bulb? It's fine. It gives you so much more control over where the image is going to be, and you know that you're going to have perfect placement. So I'm going to roll out with this one and pull in another door because I do have a couple of stamparatus going. And we'll do Alexis's favorite card because she's a rock star. Just so you can see how that stamps up. I'm gonna lay this down again, put my magnet down. Don't get your fingers under there, ouch. Ooh, ah, that was awesome. Did you see that? I'm gonna just take a chance here. That was so funny. I need more coffee. Wake up, juice. Whoopsie, you're not supposed to ink the back of the stamp. Good morning. All right, so now that we have that base done, oh my gosh, that was funny. I'm gonna bring in a block. I thought I had an A block in here. We did an A block for the present. Here it is. And the stamp set, which just disappeared. I'm not a good multitasker. Has anybody noticed that? I already lost my presents. All right. Oh, it's under there. My table just gets messy. When I have to always when you're crafting, I don't know if you're like me, but I always have to clean up before I can move on because I get jammed up otherwise and I lose stuff. All right. I just want a piece of paper under here and a mat. I had they make grid paper for this, and I usually stick a grid paper on top, but again, I don't see where my grid paper went, so I'm going to use this. And now I'm going to use this like a Stampin' mat. So I don't have my Stampin' mat handy, so I'm going to do it on this. And then we're going to make it rain presents. That's why Alexis liked this one. When she was little, Santa just about ate her up when we went to the mall. She might have been about 3. And Santa said, "What would you like for your birth? Or what would you like for Christmas?" And Alexis said, "I would like a present." She's like me. It's all about the packaging. So this one, we put the elf on the stamparatus and inked up in the same spot. And then we put the A block and let the kids stamp the present. And the cool thing about that is the present went on a lot of the envelopes as well. Actually, one of the favorites of the troop was this one. And I think it was because when you stamped the baby, here, like this, and you line it up on the stamparatus, you could make the envelopes so that you got his 2 little hands Oh my God, so cute. I can't stand it. Okay. So hashtag simple stamping. There's nothing here but stamps, ink, and paper. Awesomeness. But there, you might need a block or you might need a stamparatus. Okay, so let's get into the coloring piece. So I started with just the Regals marker set. And then I quickly realized that I really wanted to have some more dimension to my images. So I'm going to give you the quick lowdown how to do that. I'm going to start with this. I did the gold bow. Here, let me show you. Here he is. Oh my God, I love him. So to get this particular effect, you do need two colors. And what I did was I went in with crushed curry around where there would be a shadow. So if we were to tie a bow and shine a light on it, all the places where I am touching with the marker right now, like the underneath, would be where the shadow shows up, right? So we've got that and this, and we're just going to go around and add our little shadows. And then, just like the blends marker, I'm going to go right into the dark part of the marker and pull out with the lighter color, which is, in this case, So Saffron. So this one was crushed curry and So Saffron, and that's in two different color families. Sorry, kids. So if you were to have to choose, and just get one set at a time, I would start with the Regals because they're the most, I don't know, regal. They're the most Christmassy. So again, I'm going to go in with the dark here where the shadow would be and pull it out while it's wet with the lighter marker. So we thought, I thought that you could only get that effect with a blend. And on the top, you can even leave a little bit uncolored so that you get the highlight of the light shining down. Someone said, Celine, I swear to you, coloring is your superpower. I'm like, that's what I love to do. So, okay, so going again, the Regal color is the real red, and this comes from the bright. So here we go. We're going to start with the lighter color and color in his jacket. So last time I started with the darker color because I knew where I wanted the dark to be. Right now I'm trying to just fly by the seat of my pants here and figure out where I want the low lights to end up. So I'm going to start by coloring him with, this is Poppy Parade. And how fun that there's no extra tools involved. This is just the regular markers that we've had, and you guys probably have them in your pantry if you're a diehard stamper like me. So I'm going to add some low lights here to his jacket and under the collar. Oops. That's okay. I'll fix that with the green. And then I find it easier to point to what I want. So there's a nice, beautiful point on this marker. I'm going to pull it across that way rather than try and hit it from the backside. That's how I did that with the other marker. And then while we're going, I'm going to go back with the lighter marker, go into the dark, and then blend again. So I'm treating this like a blends marker. And then you get that light to dark thing going on with a blend without any special extra stuff. So you can do his hairline the same way. Go in with the crushed curry. And if you want, he can have some blue lights in there. And then we'll bring in the sun, the highlight, which is the So Saffron. This is from the Subtles. Okay. For his face, I did the same thing. Now, we have Petal Pink and Blushing Bride. Petal Pink, to me, is kind of like my skin color. And then Blushing Cheeks, right? So we'll start with this marker to get his skin tone. And you could make your elf, if you have the neutrals markers, you can add colors to make them darker, because I am about as white as you can get. So if you want him to be a little darker, you can. Or even his hair, you could add some brown, but I tried to stick to just a couple of the sets of markers instead of using them all, because I don't want you to feel like you have to get them all. But it would give you more flexibility. Okay, so there's his cheeks, right? Pretty simple there. I just colored Petal Pink on the bottom and then Blushing Bride on the top. Okay, and then these both came out of the Regals. So Garden Green and Shaded Spruce. And I'm going to go in and fix his little collar there because I went over the lines a bit, but you won't be able to see it once I'm done. So I'm going to, and by the way, red and green make black. So it's going to look real dark where it overlaps. That's the lighter green. Here's the darker one. But you can see how it's going to just blend right out. You're not even going to see it. See, I did that thing on purpose, sort of. Not really. Okay, so then we'll do, let's do the base of his hat. Again, I'm just going to point at the line. So fun. Point at the line. And on this one, I made the darker one on top. I think I'm going to switch sides. And I'm going to put the darker line on the bottom. Because down here, my shadow is on the bottom. So now that I'm getting better at this, I'm going to put the dark line down here. And then when I want to blend it, I'll flip my card, go right through the dark, and blend it into the light. So when that dries, there'll be two tones there. Same thing with this guy. We'll start again with the lightest color. This is, I'm back to Poppy. So you just pick two coordinating colors and they blend out really cool. And I will share pictures of all of these because Alexis took them against my craft room floor before we edited them. She learned a little bit of Photoshop in the process, and then we laid it out in Word and learned how to make a little booklet, and it was a really cool project for her. And her Granby is real sick right now, so he's got COPD and he's kind of struggling with his breathing. So we, even more so, she had the girls all sign one card to him and thank him for his service. So that was a lot this weekend. Emotional, wonderful, all together. So this is the darker marker, the crushed curry. And here is the So Saffron. So you can see how he's coming together. And this is what the finished project looks like. And again, so you would start with the poppy, add your dark colors in where the red is, and then go back over it to get the poppy to blend into the real red. So you get a nice a blend on that. I hope you're seeing that. And let me show you, let me just go slow this time, and I'll show you these designs one more time. We have the one with the sentiment. This is a really cute set, and the only thing that we didn't use, I think, was the snowflakes, and that's because we were stamping in black. So there's that, but I mean, I guess a couple of snowflakes could have gone in between. I like this one because only one present is colored. It gives you some interest, and it gives you a reason to come back around and look at it. And then Elfie himself with the little shaded cheeks. And I did use the two different colors on his stocking. And then again, this guy, and I think they loved the envelope the most because we set it up on the stamparatus so that you'd get his hands. And he's so cute, and his little cheeks. And the girls, oh my gosh, and one boy, they all colored these cards, different, multiple, awesome rainbow sprinkles, colors, pinks and purples, and happy colors going overseas. And then again, this was the most simple one, I think, with just a simple present on the inside. But they made 60 cards in about an hour and a half. Hang on, I'm going to flip the camera. So I couldn't see your comments while I was while I was talking, but I would, oh shoot, I should have showed you the host code for this first. I'll put the document up in the creative group in the Creating with Celine, and I'll post it here. Host code is KXJ. Nah, I'm not gonna bother. I'll post it in the links. But what we have is a bundle this morning, and if you purchase the items to make these projects on this particular host code, I am going to give the income back to Alexis's troop, 25%. So whatever you order, I'm going to give 25% back to them. For the base layer, it's the Elfie stamp set, the Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad, one package of the markers, because they're expensive. They're like 30 for 10. But you can upgrade those. I'll tell you about that in a minute. A package of the note cards, which are like $7, or I think they're 7. Are they? Oh, yeah, they're 7. It's on the paper. A clear block, and I would recommend block E. If you have a stamparatus, you can use your stamparatus, and that will work great. It is called, Avenel asked a question, where do you get the names of servicemen to send overseas? We actually do boxes of them, and if you want to send cards, I will make sure that they get into the hands of people that go into the boxes, and you can even send them signed. There are guidelines as to what you can say, like, has to be a positive message. It can't be anything crazy. You know what I mean? It can't, like, make them depressed. There was one that was signed from a child last year, and it's the one that sticks into my head the most, that says she asked for a puppy for Christmas, and instead she got a little brother, and she was not impressed with the new baby. So she wrote that in the card to the soldier. Can you imagine? That's the best. But it is Operation Care, and Avenel, I can get you the info so you can send it direct, or we are in the process of working with another girl in our Girl Scout troop. It's kind of like a collaboration. They're all working on similar things, but they're all working together. So if you wanted to support the girls in our troop, Corinne is organizing packages to go out, and there's something like 1,200 packages going out in November. So if you have cards that you want signed to go in, we can do that. And those cards don't even need envelopes. In addition, I donated a box. They couldn't carry it. I had to put it in the back of the car for them, a box of cards, so that there'll be empty cards going in the boxes overseas so that they can use it to keep in touch writing home. But the majority of this effort was to when the soldier gets their box, on top there'll be a card saying thank you. So I'll get that. It's Operation Care. There's a suggestions and guidelines document that we have to follow. So it's a nice guideline, because you don't want, yeah, but it's not specific names. It's generic, which is good, because the children retain their anonymity, which is why I didn't post any pictures on social media of our event this weekend. But I have a gorgeous picture of the 12 kids all standing around the basket of cards. Proud mama. So I do have a host code for you. I don't know if I can flip it while we're live. Nope, I don't think I can. I'll post this document and I'll post some of the pictures, because boy, just mainly the projects. What a fun effort to be able to get some cards into the hands of people that are overseas and serving us from far away. So that was my weekend. And then yesterday, Alexis had soccer right after school, and she had a 1-hour break in between. So she came home and I had a hot meal ready for her. She got in the shower and then went to dance for 2 hours. So she's just hitting it hard in high school, but you know, I'm at the ready. I'm taxi mom. So thanks everybody for tuning in. I was so excited when I figured out that I could use my classic markers and make them look like blends. And the cool part about that is that we needed something that the kids could do that wouldn't bleed through to the other side. So the note cards come, and they're heavy cardstock. They're not like the regular Whisper White or Very Vanilla. They're a thick version, and boy, it's a lot of fun. I never thought that I would hashtag Simple Stamp, but here I am killing it. These are like really cute cards, and boy, what a great tribute to the troops. So thank you everybody for letting me share, and thanks for stopping by. And I will put the host code up in the description, and I will see about uploading the link to the document, like to my Girl Scout bundle, so you can see all the item numbers. But I don't know if I can post it direct to my Facebook business page, so I might have to upload it somewhere remotely and then link to it. So look for it in the post. I'll make sure that there's a link. So thanks everybody. Have a wonderful day and a great week, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to send out the Operation Care guidelines, or my friend Michelle is still collecting things so we could find out the things that they need, including cards that are already signed with the guidelines on what to say. There's like 5 or 6 different, they want to know about your day and about everyday life, and they're busy doing their everyday life. Their routines are different than ours, so it's nice to have a guideline on what we should say and not ask questions that are, awkward. So anyway, I'm good at awkward. I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week here on Tuesday at 9 a.m. Bye, guys.